We're going to talk about flow and events and action. So an event is something that the user does. The action is what we do in response to his event. So, for example, the person submits the form, and here are our actions. Now, when we send an email, we can have a connected event, which is a child event. So the person submits the form, we send the email, and then if the person doesn't click the link in the email, well, then we send a message on their phone. We can obviously add many different events that are connected to the email. In this case, he opened the email or he didn't. He clicked the email, didn't click the email, didn't open the email. Based on that, an action will be triggered. Based on this event, an action will be triggered. When we look at actions, we have the configuration of the action, which is basically in this case the email. We have a time frame that we can determine on when the action will run, for example, immediately, with a delay in time on a specific date. And then conditions. We're going to run this if something. So, for example, let's give it a 5 minutes delay in time. And then run if, let's see, hypothetically, let's say that this person has finished a course in SalesJet, and now we need to give him the name of the course. Okay, so if this person has completed this course, well, then it will trigger the action. Make sense? So it's quite interesting. Or if the person hasn't completed this course, well, then it will trigger the action. In this case, let's hypothetically say that he completed the course. So the person submits the form, the system waits a second, and then if the person didn't complete the course, it sends the email. And if the person doesn't click in the email, well, then sends a message. So it's fairly simple. We have very intuitive explanations and very intuitive elements inside of actions and events. And you can easily see that in some instances there is a configuration that is needed. In some instances there isn't any configuration needed. An example is for when there is a page visit. Well, in that case we can add some conditions. For instance, we have a specific ad that we are looking at. So, for example, it can be some traffic that comes from Facebook. So in the event that the person that visits the page comes from that page, from that Facebook ad, for instance, well, then add this tag. Then we can add another event, another page visit, and we can say, okay, in the event that this person comes from this other URL, well, then add this other tag, and so on. It really allows us to play the game of marketing in a way that is very intuitive, and we can easily design our marketing flow and activities just by looking at the behavior of our target. And we can design it at the page level. So each page has its own purpose, and each page can have functions that occur. So we can design it at the page level, or we can design it at the funnel level. And in this case, those actions will occur regardless of the page where the person will submit the form, or regardless of what thank you page the person will visit. But it allows us to create specific events and really have fun with our marketing. Now, obviously, we have flows and events also in a SalesJet. Let's take a look at that. In this case, we have a different set of events which are more connected to a course. The guy created an account, started a course, finished a step of the course, or there has been no activity for a certain number of days. And when this occurs, let's say that the person didn't have any activity for 30 days. When this happens, then we have all those actions that can occur and that we can use to trigger more interaction and more participation from our target. It's very simple then to connect your vision of marketing to the flow, because it's extremely intuitive and it's all based on what is the event that occurs on the page and what is the action that we want to use to respond to this event. So I hope you'll have a lot of fun. We like to draw it on paper first or on our whiteboard, and then build it inside of SalesJet. But each one has its own style. You can design it on paper, on a whiteboard, or start directly inside of the platform. Okay, guys, have a lot of fun, and let's change the world.